Hey, this is Professor Dave. I'm going to show you how to take a spreadsheet of data, in this case, some tech superstars, and put it into an app. Build an iPhone or Android or web app. Okay, and we're going to use a tool called Thunkable. And I've got an account at Thunkable already, so I can log in. But you may want to sign up and register, and you get a free account. Okay, once you do that, log in, and you're going to get I have a bunch of apps that are going to show up here in a second, but you're going to get to a place where you can create a new app, and that's what you're going to want to do. And I'm going to click on this create new app, give it a name. I'm going to call this app Tech Superstars 7. I built a whole bunch of these. Okay, you have to choose a category. I'll just choose education. And then finally, um, there's two different UIs you can use with Thunkable. One is like the classic. The other one's called drag and drop interface. It's the new improved way to do things. Choose that one, try it out, and then click create. And what it's going to do is create a kind of a blank app for you, a blank first screen, and then we're going to build it so we connect it to the spreadsheet and show the spreadsheet data. So here's our blank screen. We're in the designer part of the app. The next thing we want to do is connect our spreadsheet. But first, you got to create a spreadsheet. So I've got this spreadsheet called Tech Superstars. I own it, right? My Google account owns this one. And you have to get a spreadsheet which you own, or otherwise the app you build won't be able to connect to it. Okay, so what I want you to do is go to, I have a site called draganddropcode.com, and here it is, and go to draganddropcode.com/techstars. Okay, so you want to go to this URL, and we're just going to do this to get you to a spreadsheet so you can copy it. Okay, and it's just a Google sheet. You could actually create this from scratch if you wanted. But anyway, go to this URL, click on this link right here, and it just brings up my Tech Superstars, the one I was just showing you. And then do file. This is a really important part. File, make a copy, and this will get you your owned copy of the sheet. And I'm going to do that, and I'll just call this guy, Tech Superstars 7. Okay, and now you should have your own copy of the sheet. So, and I'm just going to kind of take this out of the way. Okay, so I've got an app called Tech Superstar 7. Right now, it knows nothing about the spreadsheet called Tech Superstar 7. And so that's what we got to do. And the first thing we're going to do, and you want to go to this little icon on the left, which says data, click it, and then it's going to say data sources. A data source is like a handle, it gives you a connection to some spreadsheet or some database. I'm going to click on that plus. I've got a bunch of these that I've used in different apps, right? For my tutorials I build, but I'm going to create new, and that's what you want to do, is create a new one. Thunkable has their own internal ones you could use. Airtable's a little more complicated than Google Sheets, and then you got Google Sheets and Webflow, and we're going to use Google Sheets because most people are familiar with this. And it's going to come up with this dialog, choose select a sheet, and it'll just bring up the sheets, including the one we just created called Tech Superstars 7. Okay, so once I've done this, I now have a handle, right? I've got a data source connected to a real sheet, but my screen still doesn't show anything, right? So the next thing I need to do is actually show that. I'm going to go click on the design tab. Okay, and I can put different things in here. For instance, I could put a label, and this will be my title, right? And I'll call this Tech Stars. You can type in whatever you want here, and I'm just going to make it and then try to move it. I'm going to try to get that red line to show up, which means it'll be centered. Okay, but anyway, that's my title. But really, kind of what I want to do is grab what's called a data viewer list or a data viewer grid and draw that guy out. Okay, and this is the way we actually show stuff, show data from a spreadsheet. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. Yeah, and notice the red line came up, so that means it's centered. So it'll look decent to start. Okay, so I've got a data viewer grid that's going to show up right now it's not connected to a data source. So I've got a data source and I've got this grid, but I need to make the connection. So here's where I do it. There's a property called data source here. There's only one to choose from, right? Because I've only loaded one in. So I bring that in, sheet one, and there's different ways I could show stuff, okay? And I'm going to keep with the default, which is basically a picture and a title, okay? But I do need to say which columns of the spreadsheet do I care about? And in my spreadsheet, one column is called name, or sorry, one column is called name, and here it is, right? Another one's called pick. And these are actually URLs to, like JPEGs or PNGs. They're not to websites, so they actually have to be URLs to actual images. Okay, so make sure if you build your own spreadsheet that these are URLs to actual images. But anyway, so for my picture part of my grid, I want to choose the pick column, okay? And then for my title of my grid, I'm going to choose the person's name, okay? And voila, that's pretty much it for displaying the spreadsheet in my app, okay? There's a slight glitch right now. Maybe by the time you do this tutorial, it'll be gone. But if I try to run this guy, it's going to show me no data found. What you have to do is actually run it one time in the, go back to the app here. So if you go back to your main projects page, the app will show up. Here it is, Tech Superstar 7. And if you just click on this run button, it'll run the app for you. And in fact, it'll show your people. Okay. Or you'll show the data from the spreadsheet. And it's a little weird. Once you do that and you go back to editing the app, all of a sudden the data shows up. And if you preview it, of course it previews correctly. That's just a weird glitch right now in the Thunkable system. So don't worry about it too much, but just remember to go back to the main projects page and run it from there, or run it on your phone. I haven't showed you. You can click on this to live test on your device. And you just need an app called Thunkable Live on your phone. Okay. So anyway, we've got this app now. It's got a title and it shows all our data. Notice there's seven pieces of data. Right now, if you click on one of these, nothing happens. Okay. And in the next video, I'll basically show you how to do that second screen. All right, I just want to make this look a little bit better, right? As far as the UI design. And so I want you to go back to draganddropcode.com techstars. Okay, and there's a screen background here, and you can use any screen background you want, but what I want you to do for now is just do a save image as. So on my Mac, I control clicked and chose save image as, and then I'm going to start. I've already done it, so it's called star screen background is what the file is going to be called. Save it, okay, and that'll get it onto your computer, and then when you're in Thunkable, I can just choose the screen. So I'm going to choose screen 1. And for its background picture, I'm going to upload files. And there's my star screen background.png. So you basically need to go to my site, get that picture onto your computer, and then go into Thunkable and upload it into Thunkable as your background. And it's nice, right? So then now it's starting to look more like an app. And we've got that background picture. Okay, finally, oh, sorry, go back to screen 1. I want to change this title a little bit, make it look a little bit better. So I'm going to choose this label, and I'm going to call it Tech Superstars. And then I'm going to change the font size to 22. And let's just make it 24, a little bit bigger. And I'm going to change the text align to center. We centered the component, but we actually need to center the text within the component, which is a little bit weird. Okay, and finally I'll choose a font, and I'll just choose a real fat face, and a color, which let's just choose like the dark purple. Okay, and I think let's make it a little bit bigger so it always shows up. Okay, so now our page is looking a little bit better, and you could do the same thing with your info screen. to add a background to that screen as well.